Yes, a few shadows there from the lights. Oh, we don't care. We don't care. I didn't even bother going to makeup. Not that I need it, really. Let's bring them on because we got.
Tell you what, you need a damn good makeup artist, but anyway. Someone who could do miracles.
What's that? Harryhausen. That's the guy. The guy from the old films. Sinbad and the Argonauts.
Wow, yeah. Wow. The animation was amazing on that, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what they need for me. Here he is. There he is. Yes, there we go. And there's the man. Carpet fitter supreme. Yes, we've heard about you, sir.
I can rip them up, but putting them down, that's a different story.
Destruction. That's what we're all about. Okay? That's what people say about us in this area. You're a destructive force. Really? We're also dentists as well.
Yeah, I can take them out, but just putting them back in is the problem.
Anyway, a lot of things going on tonight. Just a quick summary. Don't forget now, this is an over 18s program. There may be some bad words, hurty words.
Maybe
okay?
Not too many.
Well, some of them. I mean, words like SH1T, see you next Tuesday,
Ooh.
And jokes about women.
Oh, God, no.
Well, let's start off. Get this first one in. Here we go. There you go. The Starmer Sutra, 1,000 ways to your country. Yes. Okay. Well, he's doing it, and he's not quite getting away with it now. I think the chickens are coming home to roost. Okay.
I think part two is coming out soon. Another 1,000 ways to ruin your country.
It'll start turning into a really long story. But let's not hope it's not too long. Not too long.
It'd be like a whole episode. Is it called an episode when you have a load of books?
No, it's
depends how many there is.
It's called the library, but they're closing them down.
Well, it'll at least go for a trilogy, I think. 3,000 ways to botch the country by Keir Starmer.
Well, this is something I tested out on my daughters, and they said it was Bob on. Now, I don't know who Bob was, but check it out.
Hello, I'm a translator. I translate women's language into English. Okay, let's go. Hey, baby, you look a bit upset with me today. Everything okay?
I'm fine.
I'm fine, she says. Oh, this is a tricky one. When they say they're fine, what they really mean is, I'm on the edge with you, right? No, you've been pissing me off all week. I'm on the edge. I'm simmering. One more thing, I'm going to blow. Correct, baby?
Correct.
Okay, next. I'm going to go and play golf with my friends on Saturday.
Go and play golf with your friends.
Go and play golf with your friends, she says. When they say go and play golf with your friends, what they really mean is, you're going golf again. You're going golf. No, I'm not saying you can't go. I'm just saying I didn't realise I was a single mum because you're gone for 6 hours. Oh my God, I'm a single mum. Pay me child support. Got it?
She's laughing.
Bang on.
Okay, next. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really hungry.
I'm feeling really hungry, she says. This one is very dangerous. When they say they're feeling really hungry, what they mean is, if I don't eat, right, in the next 30 minutes, you've seen what I get like. You've seen what I get like. I don't know what I want to eat. You figure it out, right? Or I'm going to blow. Correct, baby?
Correct.
Okay, come back next week for more translations. Okay.
Do you not think, okay? And the last one from the funny section.
Alcohol has so many female hormones in it. Once you drink too much, you can't drive and you start talking nonsense.
You know that you are a fucking bastard, right?
So if you drink too much alcohol, it's got too many female hormones in there. Right, so that's the reason why he said it. I'll just play that again in case people missed it.
Alcohol has so many female hormones in it. Once you drink too much, you can't drive and you start talking nonsense.
You know that you are a fucking bastard, right?
Oh, gosh. Okay, word of the day. You got a choice. I'm going to keep it down to 4. Cock ferret, confetti, astronaut, and barely functioning.
Sorry, you had me a cock ferret.
Here we go. Cock ferret it is. I suppose that's maybe the choice of a lot of people. Okay, here we go.
The word of the day is cock ferret. The twice-removed cousin to the fuckweasel. It's a slippery little bitch who operates primarily in the shadows, emerging only to cause devastation and watch it unfold with enthusiasm. They don't just lie, they plant seeds of bullshit, water them with fake tears, and then sit back with a front row seat to watch the shit show bloom.
Well, there you go. Okay.
That's one of my favourite ones. That was a good one.
And somebody asked me about Gary Craig. They asked me if he died. Well, no, he hasn't. We just haven't played some of his stuff, on the thing. But funnily enough, here's one from Gary Craig. He says, when he dies, when I die.
I was telling my wife when I die, I want to die having sex. And she said, at least it'll be quick.
And in case anybody, is worried about losing out on, translating it to Chinese, here's a quick one. See if you can do it, Mark.
Quick, I've given up on this.
Ready?
Yeah, go
How
on.
to say shut up in Chinese? 闭嘴,闭嘴. Sounds like 闭嘴, 闭嘴, 闭嘴.
Yeah, I like that.
Got it? Join my life, learn more.
There you go. And here's something, just a quick aside, about crazy architecture in China.
If China wasn't crazy enough already, please explain to me how I'm on the first floor and the 22nd floor at the same time. Yeah, the maths ain't mathing, is it? You look around, it looks like a normal street. There's shops, there's street food markets everywhere. The subway is over there. Looks a beautiful city, right? Come over to the other side.
Go on, fast forward. Guy never heard of an edit.
I know.
People come from all over the world to see this, and I never really understood why until I looked over this bridge and realised that I'm on the 22nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Look at that.
How insane is that?
Chased by
There's
the
a
police.
whole street,
Climbed
whole
up the other
city
side and then ran
there.
to the other end and jumped off.
And you look down.
Look at it.
And there's little ants down there. What the hell? Somebody explain this. Chongqing has to be the most mental city I've ever visited anywhere in the world, okay? I've been to some places. This is off the charts. Even when you go and get the metro, you have to go underground. You go down.
Can you believe that? I mean, look at the way that and they don't even think twice about getting on with the building. Look at that.
Mate, the cats and dogs are on the menu, mate. Anything's possible. You know what I mean?
Be shui. Don't be talking like that, okay? I'm getting a little bit jealous of these other countries. I mean, their health system is, they're getting a lot of health tourists, going over there. People from over here going
like
to
Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
That's my hair and teeth.
Turkey teeth. Okay. Turkey teeth. But, here's a quickie. Now, I'm not sure that this is absolute, but cost of living between Crete and the UK.
18 months ago, I left the UK to live in the island of Crete as a digital nomad with my wife and daughter. And people often ask me about the cost of living here in comparison to the UK. And let me tell you, I was living in the southeast of England. I was living in a 2-bed, semi-detached house that wasn't in the nicest of areas. And I was paying £1,400 a month for the rent. I was also paying £140 on top for council tax, which I don't even know what that was doing and where that was going. My bills as well with water, gas, electric was almost 200 to 300 each month, depending on the season. And then the food, well, you know what's going on in the UK. Now I live in a beautiful 3-bedroom villa with a massive 90 square foot rooftop. We've got 100 square foot of land around us. We've got fresh pomegranates, lemons and clementines every day. I've got my own home gym at the back here, you can see, and a nice little swimming pool for me, my wife and my daughter. And this sets us back £850 a month. There's no council tax, and the bins that get taken around there every single morning get taken for free. Our electric and water every month is about 90 to 100 euros, so about 70 to 80 quid. And the cost of us eating every single week, buying organic fresh food like fruit and veg from round the corner, grass-fed beef, grass-fed finished, organic meat, costs around about 100 to 120 pounds a week for us all to eat. And the average lunch that we have in a taverna is about 30 to 35 pound for about 8 to 9 courses with half a carafe of wine and a nice little meal for my daughter as well.
Half a crap of wine, it said on there. He meant carafe. I think
don't drink wine, probably for that reason, if it's crap.
Well, you know, you've only got to look at, look at the weather. You know, you got to say to yourself, you got to do some comparisons, you know, and look at it. I mean, we are the most taxed country in the world.
Yeah, we went through that last week, didn't we? A couple of times. All the taxes and then taxes upon taxes. And even when you're not getting taxed, it's subscription after subscription.
Yeah.
Which are like little taxes, aren't they? It's a telly license and then a Sky and then a Sky package and then a pay-per-view. And it's just like, when does it end?
Well, yeah. And, you know, they're ripping us. I mean, they really are. I mean, I told you that. I don't know whether I did tell you the story about that trolley that I picked up from Temu.
Yeah.
You know, to go to the Cheshire Show with. I mean, the same trolley, £24, you know, on Temu. Sent. You know, shipping free. Sent. And then the same trolley in B&M for £50. And if you go to B&Q, it's £79. So I think I'm going to become a consumer champion.
Well, this is kind of the problem in this. This is what's not helping towards unemployment either, is it? Because the more people buy online, then the less people are needed in retail and stuff. So we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. But I mean,
we are.
If something's 24 quid here and 50 quid there, then unfortunately, the customer is going to go with the cheap option.
Correct. He's going to vote with their feet. Be they him, thee, they, thou, that, whatever. Star Trekkie.
We need to do what I'm telling you. We need to follow in, not often I say this, but in China's footsteps.
Yeah.
We need to just forget this climate nonsense. We need to drill for
Get
our own gas
on.
and oil. And then we need to subsidise our small businesses with cheap electricity so we can start manufacturing stuff. Maybe we can take some of their market away from them.
We used to manufacture everything in this country.
But then we got lazy, John, and just
everything.
like, oh, it's fine, everyone else can do it, and we'll just buy it off them cheap. And then it was like, oh, what else can we palm off? Well, why do administration and come up with laws and governmental things? We'll just let the EU do it and just become proper lazy. And they just become proper lazy in this country.
Well. Here's Adam Brooks.
Train our own. Just bring them in.
Here's Adam Brooks on the EU, right? And then I've got, you know, a quick story, you know, before we start moving on to some of the other tasty subjects that are going on.
17.4 million of us voted to leave the EU. The EU started out as a trade bloc. It then morphed into an authoritarian state whose laws somehow circumvented our parliament and were more senior or more important than our laws. How did that happen? It stopped becoming a trade bloc. Then we start hearing them talking about armies. The EU is a power-grabbing authoritarian state. It's not just a trade bloc. Yes, I don't mind doing trade deals with the EU, but we've got big trade deals with the US, with India. What happens with those? Look, I think if he tries to take us in via the back door, that you'll see protests.
And Keir knows about back doors.
And politicians ignored us. True Brexit never happened because they thought they knew better than us plebs. And
now
if they
listen
do it
to this.
again, I'm telling
former European Parliament Human Rights Chairman just admitted he was paid by foreign governments to corrupt democracy. And yes, this is a real story. Antonio Panzeri is an Italian politician who chaired the Human Rights Subcommittee. After leaving office, he founded an NGO called Fight Impunity. And the irony completely writes itself, because the chairman of this NGO, so Antonio, got caught by the police with 600,000 euros of cash in his Brussels apartment. In January 2023, he took a plea deal. He admitted to corrupting EU officials for both Qatar and Morocco. He had 300 attempts to manipulate the European Parliament. And this was no small operation. More than 4 million euros were used to influence outcomes for these countries. And not only he was arrested, his wife and daughter were arrested by the police as well. And of course, the judicial system is a complete joke in Europe, because he got 5 years in prison, 4 of them were suspended, and he walked free with an ankle bracelet in the end. Completely ridiculous, and this just shows again how insanely corrupt the European Union is. It's incredibly important to understand that this is the most corrupt institution on earth. Well, after Zelensky maybe. Follow the money, follow Mees Wijnands down below.
You know,
gets to dig in there about Zelensky.
Yeah. Hey, these Remainers, they're a walking contradiction, aren't they?
I know.
They
This guy's pointing it out.
Yeah, well, Parliament's sovereign. Really? What, until the EU steps in with one of their laws, and then we're not sovereign at all?
Correct.
And then they don't seem to care that their money went to people like that.
And it's our money.
Yeah.
And it's literally,
Not bothered, are they?
when you want to start talking about social commentaries, from the ground up, this is what we're feeling, right?
Well, before you do. No, but they're always on. But look, if, like, say, for instance, quick example, Farage gets 5 million off someone. Oh my God, he's so corrupt. It's like, hello, the EU.
Take a look at it. Their books, they haven't passed muster for how many years?
Don't want to see it. It's not happening. But look at Farage with his 5 million quid before he was an MP. It's like, come on. People in glass houses shouldn't throw boulders. Do you know what I mean?
Boulders? More than that, they're actually firing cannons in glass houses. Hey, Captain, can we see any honesty across the sea there? No.
Absolutely none.
None. Okay. Shipmate, yeah. There are shitmates. Anyway, here's a social commentary. Got a few little ones of these. Check this out.
It's come to my attention that I've been living life completely wrong. I should quit my job, sign on, claim PIP, get loads of free money, not have to work with it, and then I can enjoy all this nice weather, rather than going to work, sweating my nuts off to earn a day's wage, to just come home and be like, do you want to do anything? No, I'm fucking tired, I don't want to go out, I don't want to do anything, I just want to go to bed because I've been grafting all day. Somebody send me the fucking dole number and PIP number right now.
I always looked forward to having children, and it's only dawned on me in the last few years that I think it's been taken out of my hands. I work 7 days a week just to pay my rent. I've got 2 degrees. I've worked very hard over the years. I've never not been employed. I've never not worked really hard to get to where I am. I can barely afford to feed my cats. I work so much just to pay rent. I was due to start my PhD in my field. I do marine biology. And after COVID, it never really recovered in research science. So I'm doing sort of, rubbishy jobs just to get by. And I don't have the time to actually dedicate to go out and look at just meeting people as much as I'd love to. My heart is in it. I would desperately love to have children. I dream of having little daughters that I can make into, the next generation's David Attenboroughs. That's all I'd love to do. And it actually makes me feel quite emotional. I feel like the decision's been taken away from me.
There you go. How can you put it? They're stealing the futures away from these people. And, they're stealing it in more ways than one with their stupidity. And, I don't think it's all to do with Starmer. I think Labour itself has actually abandoned the working class. And I think, they're finished. I'm absolutely certain of it. It doesn't matter what happens in Macclesfield, according to our guy on LBC. But here's a commentary from Our Lady Claire. She's in the House of Lords.
Labour's problem is not Keir Starmer. He just embodies it. Labour's problem is that they have abandoned, betrayed the working class. And we started off with that story about the United Kingdom. The whole reason I was, in my speech, making the point was Keir Starmer, to save his skin, brought out a special film in which he called on ordinary people to fight for the soul of the country, and they identified the enemy as being the kind of people who might go on a United Kingdom march, right?
Okay. Now, that's true. That's exactly what he did, right? And I can't get over. There are some good journalists out there that are actually, saying it as it is. But we curate all these different things, and we bring them out to show that it's not just us saying these things. Other people are saying them. But what's happening is that people are not seeing them on their day-to-day basis because, like that guy, they're just working. And they're working so hard, they don't have time to look at some of these things. So, question mark, okay, do you think it's Starmer or do you think it's Labour? I think it's Labour. I think that's why the unions are dumping him.
It's a bit of both, mate. As I say, I've campaigned in a couple of local elections before he was even Prime Minister, and Labour voters didn't like him. He's a Tory. So, yeah, well, you mentioned the unions. See, they seem to be jumping ship now, don't they? Because they know where the money's going to be. Yep. So they're now going to try and cozy up to Farage. And no doubt he'll oblige and he'll cozy up to them.
Well, here it is.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's not very right-wing of him, is it?
No.
But then again, he never admits to being a right-winger. He says he's not, is he? So he's telling you what he is. So what's going to happen? We're going to swap it again. So Farage comes in, and then the unions are going to hold him hostage, are they? And, right, we're going on strike. We want 12% for this and 10% for that, while the leaders of all these unions are on mega bucks.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they're not working class either, are they, these unions anymore?
No,
they're just all about making the money and trying to influence the decisions. Quite frankly, I'd just scrap them all together.
Well, there's a good guy at the Daily Mail, and I mean, I know everybody calls it the Daily Fail. I think that they're getting their act together. A fellow called Guy Adams. I mean, I quite like him. Guy Adams, and this is his commentary on Keir Starmer's friend, Lord Hermer.
What a complete and utter lawyer Keir Starmer has appointed as his government's attorney.
Did he mean to say lawyer, or did he mean to say something else? What a complete and utter lawyer.
Tosser.
That's
just say it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just get it.
General, I'm talking about this man, Richard Hermer, Lord Hermer. He's one of the most powerful men in Britain. He's the government's chief legal officer, never won an election in his life. He was appointed by Keir, an old mate, straight after the last election, handed a seat in the House of Lords, and ever since he has run around telling ministers that they can't do things that voters want them to do. He was instrumental in the shambolic Chagos Islands deal, which would have seen our government give away a key strategic territory to a hostile foreign power and pay them tens of millions of pounds for the privilege. The man is a walking disaster zone. And today, in today's newspapers, he's been caught out. Lord Hermer is a human rights lawyer, and over the years he has represented all sorts of quite salty people, including Jerry Adams, who was running Sinn Féin around the time the IRA were blowing up different bits of our country. And finally, he's been caught out. A load of emails have emerged from back in 2008 when he was representing a load of Iraq war veterans who were attempting to sue the government and drag British war heroes through the courts, claiming that they'd been guilty of war crimes. Now, these emails suggest that Lord Hermer knew that these claims might well have been untrue, but decided to go ahead with.
Well, there you go. He decided to go ahead, right?
Yeah, we discussed this a while back. He did.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
You know why, don't you? Because there's still money to be made.
It's back in the press now.
Mm-hmm. There's still money to be made, even when you lose.
Yeah. And what about what about all the woke judges? I mean,
She has some of the best lawyers, barristers, and judges of anywhere in the world. But we have a problem. There's a small minority of judges with links to political causes that are compromising the independence of the judiciary. Until now, they've been kept a secret. But the research conducted by my team and I have uncovered it. And what I'm about to tell you will shock you. Over 30 immigration judges who sit in courts and tribunals like this one have links to Open Borders charities.
There you go. So is it any wonder that we see these decisions where these people are let off? They're not sent back.
No. It's all ideological every time, isn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, this, I think we're starting to see a turning point in this country where it's all becoming, you know, a little bit more obvious that these people have got to be gotten rid of. The swamp drained. Now, one of the big ones, which is your story, Mandelson. The Mandelson files have been released. All right.
So glasses on for this one.
Yes, indeed. And here's the intro for you.
Our political editor joins us now, Christopher.
Emily, 600 pages of emails, WhatsApped, messages to Morgan McSweeney, the PM's former chief of staff, from Peter Mandelson. We're going through them now. This could be a moment of reckoning for the Prime Minister. It could be deeply embarrassing. And the reports over the weekend talking about how we're seeing some toe-curling revelations that Peter Mandelson apparently reportedly asking for phone numbers of MPs to get in touch with them, offering advice to ministers on how to do their job. Some of it is said to be humiliating. It has just dropped. We'll be hearing from Darren Jones. He's the Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister at around 3:30 or shortly after. And we'll be going through these documents right now as we speak. And I'll bring to you anything I can find out over the next, throughout your show as it comes to us.
Yes.
Okay, Mark, take it away. There's your intro. All right. It was good article by GB News. Thanks for sending it.
That's all right. It's been a bit of a scurry before the cast. Everyone's been trying to get through all this stuff and find out as quickly as possible what's in there. So I've got a bit of a summary of some of the stuff.
Go ahead.
So he mentioned private WhatsApp messages. Now they're showing Mandelson repeatedly questioning Starmer's leadership style and political strategy. In one exchange, he said Starmer lacks verve and complained the government's plan of change slogan was not backed by a clear plan. I just can't believe that Starmer's literally put his career at risk to get this guy on board when in the background he's just slagging Starmer off. Which tells me that I don't really think Mandelson was Starmer's idea.
Wait a minute. Is that Cruella de Vil in the background there?
Could be, mate. Could be. Yeah, I've got a feeling Starmer's not in charge, is he? Who's really wanted Mandelson in there? Because we'll go through it a little bit more. There's about
Well,
6
it wasn't the
or 7
Americans,
so,
I can assure you.
Well, this is what makes me think it. So Mandelson acting like a political advisor, not just an ambassador. So he was trying to stick his beak into things like welfare policy, Labour Party discipline, cabinet reshuffles, media handling and political messaging. Now, why would he be doing that? Do you think his mate, Mr. Blair's got him in there because maybe they're not happy, the Fabians aren't happy with what Starmer's been doing? So they think we need someone in there.
Yeah.
So you've got the missing vetting documents, which has already been quite high profile, hasn't it? But a key 9-page security vetting summary compiled by UK Security, UKSV, was withheld. So obviously this is the police withholding it due to the investigation that's ongoing.
Yeah.
So we're not really going to hear much more about that, but there is something there which we might hear about eventually. More WhatsApp messages and records issues. 160 pages, as he said, of text. So you've got Mandelson reportedly declined requests to provide some WhatsApp material from personal devices.
Sorry, say that again. I was too busy looking at the green goddess. She's lovely.
Mandelson, do you know she is, but not when she's every 10 seconds on them videos. So unfortunately, I switched them
I
off
like her.
when that stupid advert comes on. But yeah, so Mandelson declined requests to provide material from personal devices. Some conversations were unavailable because messages had disappeared or devices inaccessible. It's like the Hillary Clinton thing all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
The file contains concerns about poor record keeping and the increased use of encrypted messaging for government businesses. So basically, he's saying, you're not having it, and then, oh, it's gone, disappeared, and my devices have probably been smashed up with a hammer, and then, well, everything else is encrypted, so tough.
But how many of those messages actually mentioned Starmer?
Not too sure, but there was quite a lot. Could have been 50 or something, but I think over the next few days, you're going to find out what they actually say. You've got a memo, one document, which is receiving attention. In it told ministers they would never regret appointing him and argued that managing relations with the administration of Donald Trump would require exceptional political skills. I think everyone's getting it right now. So that's hilarious. Epstein-related things, I don't think there's much really in there, but it reinforces the fact that he had a relationship with Epstein.
Right, okay.
That people knew and Starmer knew. And then internal Labour rivalries. So he had Mandelson discussed leadership concerns with ministers, criticised cabinet colleagues, exchanges about possible successors for Starmer, and then arguing over welfare cuts, net zero, and the Palestine thing.
So he had quite an involvement still in government while he was an ambassador.
Massive, mate. Wow. It's going to be drop, drip, drip, drop, drop, drop with all this stuff, isn't it? Until someone wants Starmer gone. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was his own side getting all this out to get rid. But it's not looking good for him. But then again, he's Teflon, isn't he?
At the moment, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to move on, and we're going to go on to Peter Murrell and everything. Did Nicola know anything? Now, here's Nigel Evans. He did a nice little commentary, about it. It was quite funny. Here you go.
Many of you, I'm absolutely fascinated by what's going on up in Scotland. It seems to me that Peter Murrell...
Me too, looks funny.
My goodness me. The list of things that he bought during the time he was embezzling £400,000 from SNP funds. My goodness me, 2 hairdryers, £400. I didn't realise you could buy a hairdryer for £400. I didn't realise what somebody with
Dyson one. They're £400.
A pen at over £4,000. Coffee machines, £4,000. The one I love is the coffee cup.
Did you say 4,000 for a coffee machine?
£600.
No, for a pen.
I mean, absolutely staggering. And the reality is
the car missed. You should turn around.
Like
you missed.
Ian Blackford, who I rather like. I know Ian. And he says, oh, well, Nicola didn't know because she never went in the kitchen. Really? She never went in to make a cup of tea? Really? She never went in.
Who never goes in their own kitchen?
I mean,
absolutely.
Well, she knew nothing. Check this out.
News just in, folks, from the Banana Republic of Scotland, and it involves Nicola Sturgeon. She has, of course, been all over the front pages this week because her ex-husband, Peter Murrell, who was the chief executive of the SNP, has pleaded guilty to plundering more than £400,000 from party coffers and spending it on luxury goods. Now, Nicola says, as she would, that she had no idea that this crime wave was taking place under her nose. She didn't know that the necklaces, the £400 necklaces Peter was giving her, or the £2,000 salt and pepper grinders that were in their kitchen, or the £300 umbrellas in their hallway, or the nice fitted library where she kept all her books, or the Jaguar car he was driving her around in. She didn't know that all of these things had been bought using stolen money. Now, of course, we must take Nicola at her word.
No.
However, I would like to draw your attention to the following leaked video clip. It shows Nicola Sturgeon in March 2021 addressing the SNP's ruling NEC. This was at a time where a number of SNP officials had raised concerns about financial management in the party. 3 of them had actually resigned because they couldn't get their hands on documents that might show where hundreds of thousands of pounds that was missing had actually gone. Now, this is how Nicola reacted to their resignation.
Just be very careful, all of us, about suggestions that there are problems with the party's finances, because
Really?
we depend on donors to donate. There are no reasons for people to be concerned about the party's finances, and all of us
We're spending it wisely, don't be concerned.
Yes.
Does this look like a well-meaning politician trying to ensure that no wrongdoing has occurred, or does it look like someone trying to cover things up? You can be the judge, but in today's newspaper, I look into this whole...
I don't want to be a judge. I don't want to be tarred with that brush. Okay?
So, you know, did someone get the calculator out throughout his case? Because I'm not being funny. We've got £400 Hoovers, 4 grand pens, 125 motorhome. I've got two grand on salt and pepper things, £400 brollies, a Jaguar, which could be like 60 to 100 grand. Mate, I'm way past half of that 400,000 on about a handful of things. And it just went on for 12 years, you're saying? And he just chose those things. So they were just dead rich for what, like a year or so, and then he just stopped doing it, did he? Mate, I'm sorry. I'm calling bullshit on this, mate. I'm not having it.
Well, here's Laura Koonsberg.
400,000, really? Like fucking 400 million.
Here's Laura Koonsberg, and she was interviewing her, on Sunday, right?
Should donors to the SNP whose money was spent criminally get their money back, and would you contribute to that in some way?
What do you mean, would I contribute to that in some way?
Well, you still have the asset of your marital home.
My marital home wasn't bought by SM. There will now be, I would imagine, a legal process to recover the money from Peter that he embezzled from the SNP. So that will be a legal process. I am not guilty of that for my own sake, but for the sake of people out there, a lot of women who end up finding themselves blamed for the actions of the men in their lives, I'm not going to contribute to that kind of sense that I am responsible for somebody else's crimes. I will take responsibility for the things I do, the decisions I make. I'm sitting here with you right now answering questions because I believe strongly in that accountability. But I am not responsible for the crimes that my former husband committed, and I'm not going to apologise for somebody else's crimes.
But should donors...
Go ahead.
I reckon, do you know why? Because I tell you what, mate, I would need some money to take the sting out of being married to her, to be honest. I reckon she drove him to it. I reckon he bought that motorhome so he could get dusty
so there was an excuse.
So he could leave.
Oh, my word.
Honestly, that was the face of, I am absolutely talking through my backside face. Look at it. I can tell by just seeing one eye. She's lying. Look at her. Little sad. It wasn't me. I'm the victim. You're the victim who stayed dry under a £400 umbrella, and you pushed your 4 grand Hoover around, or whatever, £400 Hoover around your kitchen. You didn't go in.
Yeah, it's just incredible, isn't it? When you think about it, how would you not know? Okay, no.
Oh, Peter, these salt shakers look really expensive. How much were they? Go and B&M, love. Okay.
Well, we've got some comments that have come in. Got some comments that have come in. Frankie sent one in. Starmer's a wanker.
He is.
Okay.
Tell you what, no, sorry, that's a bit harsh on wankers, to be honest.
Okay. And we're moving on. I know the pot is ending is past the comment there, and we're moving on
nice to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks. We're moving on to the final story of the evening, and that is obviously about Henry Nowak. Okay, and here's the first introductory story to it, and this is Alex Armstrong, who's been accused by the Sikh community of sort of causing problems for them. But here you go.
So some Sikh people are unhappy about my criticism of the kirpan, the ceremonial blade they're allowed to carry around with them, which I think is exceptionally dangerous for a multitude of reasons and deeply un-British. And I'm not going to apologise for saying those things. Some Sikh people have been tagging me in X posts, on Facebook posts, saying, oh, look, there's a racial assault here. This is your fault, Alex. There's a racial assault in this part of the country. All I'm saying is that your right as Sikh people to carry a knife around with you in public is dangerous, and it is against the vast majority of our laws. Sikhs get a special exception under the law, which I think is wrong. I believe in equality. Everybody should be treated equally in this country, and I don't believe Sikhs should be the only...
Well, it's they're getting a religious privilege there by being able to carry an 8 or 9 inch, knife like that. It's wrong.
It's actually constitutionally wrong, because the only people who should be armed under the Constitution is Protestants.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, then let's get a law in to legalise firearms, then, and we'll balance this out. But only for the natives.
Absolutely.
Only for the natives.
Okay. Well,
it's what the Constitution says, John. So I mean, I'm sorry, but do we go by our democracy, our laws? The laws they bang on about, or do we just make this shit up as we go along? And
they're making it up as they go along.
It's the minorities. Well, I tell you what, give it 30 years, we'll be the minority. Then do we get to walk around with big knives and swords? Probably not.
Well, here's Jenrick on the police treatment of Nowak. And, it's so sad, this. I mean, it really is upsetting. And I hope it's a turning point. And there are some views, within these segments that I've picked, some that I've looked at and I've gone, wow, that's so emotive. But I make no apology for them, sir. No apology.
Well,
here we go.
You're optimistic, because lessons are never learned.
Arresting him for this supposed, and it turns out false, racial slur, over saving his life, is deeply troubling, and I think now needs to be properly assessed. I want the IOPC, the Independent Police Complaints Organisation, to assess this, to see the body-worn cameras of the police, to understand what the officers did or didn't do. And look, if they made terrible misjudgments, then just saying sorry, as the acting head of the police in Hampshire did yesterday, isn't enough. Heads should roll for this. It is a national scandal. And I do question, Nick, why is it that so few people have spoken about this thus far? If you compare it to, say, George Floyd, where you had the Prime Minister taking the knee, there's an astonishing silence on this issue. Only myself and the local Member of Parliament have raised this in Parliament. Nothing from the Prime Minister, nothing from the Home Secretary. It does raise the question, at least, do many of our politicians run away when there is a racial element to a crime?
We'll never know, will we? We'll never know if Henry's life couldn't have been saved, because he wasn't believed. He was handcuffed instead. It wasn't checked by the police on the scene if he was bleeding, when pictures show he clearly was. Release the body cam footage. I think we demand to see what happened at that scene. What happened? Show us the footage. I don't think apologies will cut this anymore. There'll be a national outcry to the extent where I sincerely believe if a black boy had been killed by a white man in this manner on the streets and the police had disbelieved him and let him bleed to death, our cities would be burning right now. Politicians would be taking the knee. The outcry would be international. Endless missives would be written by the political class, by the chattering class, by celebrities, queuing up to condemn the white boy. Deafening silence in this case. And look at the family.
That's what pisses me off.
His brother completely fabricated the claim that Henry Nowak was racist. His mother then removed the murder weapon and took it home. She was also found guilty today for assisting a defendant by removing the weapon from the scene. The entire family rotten to the core.
Okay, so, there is that. It's very emotive. Now, we have to take some of the emotion out, and we have to say, okay, we know that the body cam footage, or at least some of it, was shown in court, because the court case was today, and the guy got 21 years minimum sentence. Now, I don't think that's long enough, to be honest with you, for what he did. The kid was 18, And I'm going to play the statement momentarily that his father made outside of the court. And you cannot believe how utterly calm and dignified this guy was. I mean, most people, if it was their son, the truth be known, they would be going nuts. Okay, they would be going nuts. Okay, so here's one reaction, which has come from Nick Tanconi, and he's a religious type of guy, and this is what he had to say about it today, and he very, very much blames the police for certain parts of what's gone on.
So many things wrong with this, but I'll leave that till after we've listened to this.
Okay, here you go.
Tell you, I would not call the police unless my life depended on it. And as we now know, that might actually seal my fate. That might put me in a box. That 3 minutes, it might get me there faster. The police patriots are not on the side of law-abiding people. Hampshire Constabulary are rotten to the core. They have lost the support and consent of the good people of Hampshire. Disgustingly, without pressure, the corrupt leadership at Hampshire Constabulary will not act, and they will try and sweep under the rug this scandal. So, in desperate times, we must deploy desperate measures. Until we have justice for Henry and his family, I am asking all the good people of Hampshire to hold every single police officer accountable for this offence against our people. Every single one of them. Do not invite police officers or their families to social events or gatherings. Do not engage with police officers. Do not engage with them in conversation. Do not engage with them at the school gate. Ostracize them. Ostracize them from the community. Make them feel shame for their actions. They must feel consequences for their behaviour. And for those who think it may be too harsh, what is harsh is handcuffing an 18-year-old boy as he bleeds to death after accusing him of being racist.
I have to agree.
I don't.
I have to agree. No, I think the police should be held accountable.
They should do,
One of
but
them's
not that.
already resigned.
They should do, but not that way.
Yeah, it should.
No. Like I've been saying, we need to now tie all these public officials to an updated Bill of Rights and things like that. Treason, jail. You're gone. We need to reverse these two-tier laws where these minorities get these exceptions for weapons. We need to now make sure no one's arrested for being racist to someone on the street, because a lot of people are missing the main point. If they weren't captured by woke ideology, they wouldn't have been arrested. Someone just say that's not very nice. No one never used to get arrested for racist stuff.
No.
Right? And then let's implement the death penalty.
Yes.
Stuff like this.
Yes. Yeah.
And then get a grip of immigration and start making people who are here actually follow our culture. There's so many factors to this. Ostracising police officers isn't going to fix this.
Yeah, but it will actually get a message through to him to stop listening as if it's a Bible about this DEI stuff.
Okay, then, and a migrant starts, I don't know, rapes one of your family members. Are you going to ring the police? Not going to ring the police then, no.
No, just go get them.
You usually say don't speak to them, don't invite them.
No, I didn't say that.
Look, they're not all bad.
Hey, listen, I can understand what you're saying, but there's only one way that the police constabulary of this country is going to get the message. And that is that when the people turn against them for certain things, then they will know. They will know that they are there. They took an oath. They took an oath.
I know, but it's meaningless unless you make it mean something. Same with judges, same with all of them. They all take a same oath to the same constitution. It says they shouldn't be doing certain things, but no one's enforcing it. This is why you now need to...
No accountability.
You need to implement extra legislation for the Constitution that puts out the punishments for this stuff.
Okay.
And make these things an actual crime.
Well, all right then. This
is a crime, this ideology in the whatever institution. It's a crime against the people of this country, against the native people.
Okay, well, here's the statement from the father of Henry Nowak. Okay, and I make no excuse. And it was a great filming by Sky News, and I have to say, they did a great job here. And I thank them for actually being there. And here they are.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Nowak. I am Henry Nowak's father. To my left is my daughter Olivia Nowak, Henry's older sister, and to her left is Lucy Ross, Henry Nowak's mother. The jury confirmed what we've always known. Henry's life was taken from him unlawfully, violently, and without justification. Henry was 18 years old. He was kind, ambitious, loved and full of promise. He had his whole life ahead of him, a degree to finish, places to see, and a future to build. That future was stolen from him, and no verdict or sentence will ever give it back. Henry did nothing wrong. He was one of the kindest, friendliest and most inclusive people you could ever hope to meet. He was amazing in every way. On the 3rd of December last year, Henry was walking home from a night out with his university football teammates when he encountered Vikram Digwa, a man openly carrying a large knife on the streets of Britain. That knife was used to take Henry's life. He should have been safe walking home. Instead, he became another young life lost to the brutal reality of knife crime in this country. Henry had been stabbed multiple times, and as his chest filled with blood, he tried to escape. He was chased, abused, and filmed by Vikram Digwa and others. When police arrived, Henry was lying on the floor, barely able to sit up and plainly in severe medical distress. With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. He told them he had been stabbed. In fact, Henry told officers that he could not breathe 9 times. He told them he had been stabbed 4 times. The response from one officer was, "I don't think you have, mate." The police have said they were misled by the murderer and that the scene when they arrived was complex. Unfortunately, it seems to us the truth is much simpler. The police were told by our son himself and by a member of the public who called 999 that they heard someone shout that they had been stabbed. But the police did not believe them. Henry was pulled across the gravel, his hands forced behind his back, and he was placed in handcuffs. Instead of being treated as a dying victim, police formally arrested Henry for assault and read him his rights. That was the last thing he heard. Henry did not die with dignity. He did not die with the care he deserved. He lost consciousness before anyone believed him. Let me be absolutely clear. We hold Vikram Digwa solely and 100% responsible for the brutal murder of our son. But Henry should not have died on the streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was treated was inhumane and degrading. His murderer, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed when arrested. He was not handcuffed when transported to the police station. As far as we understand, he was never handcuffed at all. And, as Vikram Digwa himself told the court, whilst under arrest for Henry's murder, police even took him to the kitchen so he could choose his food. The contrast is unbearable. We believe the officers involved remain on duty, although we understand some may have since resigned. One was allowed to leave the force before she had given an account to the Independent Office of Police Conduct of what happened that evening. The IOPC investigation remains ongoing. Whilst we await its final report, we are calling on the Home Secretary to ensure that the IOPC has the resources, authority and independence it needs to conduct a full, fearless and transparent investigation. Our families should not have to fight for the truth anymore. Despite the shocking actions of the police on that fatal night, the murder investigation was very different. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Senior Investigating Officer DCI Rebecca Bartholomew, the Serious Crime Team, and particular officer in the case, Claire Proctor. We would also like to thank our incredible family liaison officers, Sarah Page and Trudy May, for their diligence, professionalism and compassion throughout this investigation. We would also like to thank the CPS, as well as Nick Lobenberg, KC, and Neil King for their outstanding advocacy skills in prosecuting this case. In our darkest period of our lives, knowing that people were fighting tirelessly for Henry gave us strength. They secured justice for our son, and for that, our family will be forever grateful. For us, there is no closure. There is no moment where the pain stops. There is no moment where the Henry-shaped hole in our family is filled. We will carry this grief every single day for the rest of our lives. But today matters. Today, Henry was believed. The truth has been recognized. Today, justice, in the eyes of the law, has been served.
In the eyes of the law.
But justice alone is not enough. We want to use Henry's heartbreaking story to make change for the better. We do not want his death to be used to create further division, hatred, or tension. We want his story to make our streets safer for everyone. That is why we are calling on the government to treat knife crime as the national emergency that it is. We need real solutions. We need investment in prevention. We need stronger action on the sale, the ownership and carrying of all knives. And as this case so painfully demonstrates, we need common sense applied to our laws. This doesn't mean knee-jerk reactions. This doesn't mean going to extremes. It just means a common sense approach to law and order. As the case C for the prosecution summed up in court, this is not a case about Sikhism. This is not a case about racism. This is a case about murder. People should not be able to walk openly through the streets of Britain carrying a 21-centimetre blade. As a family, we will not let this go. No other family should experience the heartbreak and horror of losing a child to knife crime. Finally, I want Henry to know, wherever he is, we are so proud of him and we love him beyond words. Thank you.
I wonder if he'll get knighted. Like Stephen Lawrence's mum and all that, probably not.
I doubt it.
So many things that need to happen here. Someone needs to get a grip of this conflict resolution. When you turn up to something and you're a police officer, the training's poor, isn't it? Let's face it, mate. Because if it was any good, they would have assessed the situation when they got there. And they would have quickly gone, well, you deal with him, I'll deal with him, and let's try and get to the bottom of it.
Why is one of them resigned? Why is one of them resigned?
Yeah, because the shitbags, mate, and they have to, don't they? Because otherwise they're going to up on misconduct charges. And this is the thing, again, it's got to change. They can't be allowed to resign. I'm sorry, you're not resigning at all until we've got to the bottom of this. Then you're fired, then you go into jail. But it'll all get washed under the carpet again, won't it? This is why we need a new police force. Never mind ostracising them. That's the best way of ostracising them. Get a new government in the next few years and set up a rival police force. It's not difficult. You use the same legislation as the one that did the current one. And then let's see which one thrives. But you literally put measures in place for none of this race crap, none of this woke stuff, mate. None of this critical race theory. That police force is just, it's indoctrinated.
Yeah, it's got to go.
I don't think you're going to save it, and just not inviting them to a barbecue or something isn't going to fix it, I'm afraid.
No,
so
but it
needs to be, it needs to be brutal. It needs to be extreme, unfortunately. And people are going to walk around with knives. Doesn't matter if you ban them. It's the same as in America. You can ban guns all you want, but the criminals will still have them.
Yeah.
So how about give the people something to fight back with, maybe? If you can't fix this mess because you're too weak.
Yeah.
It's all about the politicians here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
because otherwise it's going to be every day. It's every day now. It's someone's son,
Yeah.
it's someone's daughter,
Oh,
someone's being raped, someone's being murdered.
It's
The same
heartbreaking.
thing. We're never going to. I know he means well, but the parents are going to keep saying the same things. We're going to do this, and campaign for this. That doesn't stop it though, does it? Because here we are again this week with another one, and it'll be someone else. I just wish people like his name are going to be remembered more than Stephen Lawrence and Anthony Walker.
Well, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah, and the Anthony Walker one was not long after that.
Yeah.
So you're talking of people being remembered because of the skin pigmentations, aren't you? That's it. That and that alone, mate. Because of this obsession with skin colour. And people are just dying left, right, and centre. And the problem's way more complicated than anyone really understands.
Let's call it there. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the comments from the people that have been watching. Thank you, Sky. Okay. That was good.
Nah, fuck Sky, John.
No, that was a good thing that they did there to get
Mate,
that.
they're only on it so they can get the clicks and the hits. They don't care about any of this. Otherwise, they would highlight all the things that we've just talked about that we need to do to fix this mess.
Well, let's hope that there's a
I'm sorry, but
change.
some of these politicians, before we go, some of these politicians crying now, claiming to be going to wipe the establishment out, and then crying when the news won't let them on there. Stop pandering to the establishment's mouthpiece. Tell the mainstream to do one and get lost. We don't need them. We don't want them. You'll get nothing positive off them. Quite the opposite. They don't benefit us in any way whatsoever. They just badmouth us. So don't feed the plants and they'll die. And bye-bye, they're gone too. We can have decent people at these things asking the questions that need to be asked.
Okay.
Can't stand Sky, to be honest. I'm not getting the
Well,
thanks for nothing.
This is
Not from me anyway.
This is our gesture to Henry, and we hope that things do change.